What's up, everybody? If you can hear me, please put one in the chat. I just want to make sure that I am being heard on this evening. Can you all hear me? Hey, everybody. If you can hear me, put a one in the chat. Perfect. Okay. Good evening. Hello. All right, we had the little music going and everything. What's up, everybody? Good evening. Happy Saturday to you all. I hope you all are having a fantastic evening. We're going to go on ahead and get this thing kicked off. I know y'all haven't seen me in a minute. Listen, honey. Okay, I'm working my way through. Okay, I'm gonna build it up as time progresses. All right. I can't do 2 and 3 and 4 days. I don't have that in me just yet. We working on it. Okay. But good evening, everybody. Let's see. Hey, Jesse. Jesse is in the building. Hi, Josh. Sean Talks. We're going to be over there tomorrow evening. I'm excited. Hello, Pray Era. Good evening to you. Hi, my sister Londa. So good to see you as always. Jacqueline, thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, everybody is pressing one. They can hear me. Everybody's saying hello to everybody. Good evening, y'all. Listen. We're going to have a good conversation tonight. Yes, please put everybody's links in there. We have Jesse. We're going to be on his platform on Monday. We have Sean Talks. We're going to be on her platform tomorrow evening. Josh, he's going to be on tomorrow evening. If y'all could drop his link as well, he'll be going live. He has his subscriber number and he's ready to go. And yes, of course, if you could like, share, subscribe, and please, by all means, comment. I would greatly appreciate that. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Let me scroll back up. Y'all was in here. I appreciate y'all so much for coming on in. Sabrina, good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Let me start off by saying this. Okay, this before I get into everything that I'm going to get into. So I went and made an investment today. Y'all see this? Made all the investment. Let me move this out the way. Okay. Tell me why they didn't sell the cord that I needed that goes with this thing. So it's gonna be in this shot because yeah, I'm mad. Okay, I'm mad about it. I go to Best Buy. I said, hey, yes, I'm calling your name out, Best Buy. Although they probably not gonna see this. But anyways, I was like, let me go ahead. At first, I was gonna order something and I wanted something a little cutesy and all that good stuff. Hey, Erica, thank you so much for tuning in. And so I went over there. I said, let me go on and, grab a few things. And ladies and gentlemen, it was an investment. Let's be clear. But it's all good. You got to invest in yourself, right? And so long story short, I'm thinking the cord is going to be in the box because it was in a small little podcast section. So I'm like, oh, okay, then. I said, all right, I'm going to get my little, get everything. I'm going to be all set up this evening and people going to see I'm making small steps. I'm progressing a little bit. I open this thing, nothing but the mic and then this stand. So I go back to Best Buy. I said, okay, surely they got it. Surely they got, they got to make their little coins. So they want a little extra. Let me go and see if I can grab the cord. Tell me why they didn't sell no cord. I'm mad. I'm hot as fish grease. Because why? Oh, ma'am, we're so sorry. You got to go order it. So then why you sell this? Now I done spent X amount of dollars, and you mean to tell me I got to go outside of y'all? I bought this from you, but then I got to go somewhere else to get what I need to make it work? I'm mad. Okay. But we're going to do it anyways, y'all. We're going to do it anyways. Amazon is my go. Listen, and I should have done that. I should have done that. They're supposed to open and check all equipment is there. Well, this is the thing, Sabrina. It doesn't come with it. The cord does not come with the mic. Everything is sold separately. Yes, if you would like to support the channel, listen, let's talk about that. I'm going to be frank because this is the let me say this podcast. All right. Listen, I do not have a cash out. I will not have a cash out now or in the future. Okay. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to share that story or not, but I'm telling you now, I'm not going to have a cash out. So here we are. I have Zelle. Okay. I have Chime. I know. Nobody probably uses the whole Chime thing. I had it. I don't even, I haven't used it in years. I had to send somebody some money and that was their only way. So that's how I wound up getting it. So if you don't use it, that's fine. That's fine. But this is what we have for right now. And I have a PayPal. The PayPal is the same as the Zelle. I'll give you, I'll try to do a PayPal.me and maybe that'll be a little convenient. I know it's easier just to, Cash App is way more convenient, but I have been defrauded in that department. So that's a whole other story for another day. So there's that. So those are the giving options. I understand you don't want to type in all of that. That's fine. But that's where we are right now until I get monetized. And then what you say, Londa? I can't do Cash App. I'm still waiting for my $75. I sent, and they're not going to send it back. Okay. They're not going to do it. So yeah, y'all. Yes. Super chats in the future, hopefully the near future. Speaking of, so y'all subscribe. Well, everybody here should be subscribed. Share this so some more people can subscribe and we can get on the money train as it pertains to being monetized. Okay. Zelle is the move. I love it. But I know people not going to want to type in my whole email address. I don't know. Trust, we understand Cash App is Cash App. And listen, Cash App is Cash App. And it was cute. When it was a thing, super chats, let them colors rip. Okay. When I get there, and hopefully I get there soon. All right. I'm not going to prolong the time because I have a special guest that's in the building and I want her to, I want to get her up. What it say? It will save once you Zelle once or twice. Oh, okay. But there are quite a few people that don't have Zelle, but that's neither here. This is what I have. This is all we got. I do have an Apple Pay, but that's connected to a number. But anyways, so tonight we're going to have a good conversation. I'm going to move this thing out the way, even though I wanted to, so I can practice. It won't even stay up, y'all. Okay. But anyways, all right, I'll put it down because it won't stay up. Hey, Cece, what's going on? Hey, Mike, welcome in. Hey, Nicole, I don't know if I spoke to you or not. Okay, so tonight we're going to have a good conversation. I have my homie, my sister, my friend. She's all encompassing. I'm going to introduce her in a minute. Yes, please hit the like button. But tonight we're going to talk about divorce. Okay, we're going to have a good conversation. We're going to talk about it as if we're at the kitchen table or as if we're on the phone. So I'm excited about that. But I just want to share a few stats with you. So in 2023, over 1.8 million Americans went through a divorce. I don't know. Did y'all know that? I did not know that. I knew the number was high, but I did not know that. That's nearly 1/3 of all adults who ever been married have been divorced. Okay. While the overall divorce rate has declined, it is still, since about 1980, it has been about 41% of marriages still end up in divorce. Isn't that crazy? The risk of divorce increases with each subsequent marriage. Second marriages have a 60 to 67, percent divorce rate. And third marriages climb as high as 70 to 73%. And when I read that, that is interesting because I didn't think that was the case. I thought second and third marriages, I thought they last a little longer because everybody trying to hold on. They ain't trying to get up out of there like the first one. But interestingly enough, the median length of a marriage that ends in divorce has increased from 10 years in 2008 to 12 years 2023. Did y'all know that? This suggests that many couples are staying together longer before they decide to part ways. And there's so many reasons why people are doing that now. So demographics also play a role in this. Among those, watch this, who have ever married, Black Americans are the most likely to have gotten divorced. 41% of African Americans are divorced or have divorced, while Asian Americans are least likely to divorce, and they are at 16%. These are the stats. This is from 2023. So as we explore the topic tonight, we'll discuss the emotional, the financial, and the societal impacts of divorce, and what these statistics means for individuals and families navigating this challenging life transition. Okay. So I am going to bring to the stage again my sister, my friend. She's all that. She's been knowing me my whole adult life. And we go as far back as high school. So she's been knowing me for a very, very, very long time. And I trust her with every fiber of my being because she has always been a stand-up person. She's a life coach. She is a minister. She's a prophet. She didn't want me to say that part. She's a prophet. She didn't want me to say that. I know she didn't. She is all that in a bag of chips. She is an author. She is a best-selling author. She has a book out that is amazing, that has topped the charts, and I'm so excited and so happy to have none other than Miss Stephanie Graham. Welcome, Stephanie.
Now, why you got to be telling folks on the YouTube's nations?
Listen, y'all.
The eve before Sunday morning. Mercy.
Listen, y'all. She is a prophet. Do you hear me? But she has been such an inspiration in my life for so many years. She has been a spiritual help. She has been all encompassing. I have always been able to be myself with her, and she has always been able to be honest with me about things and walk with me through some of the most challenging times, in my life, and divorce being one of them. So, Stephanie, thank you so much. She was supposed to come on the following Monday, that Monday that Josh came on. She was supposed to come on, but she was a little under the weather. So the Lord has yet revived her and replenished her, and she's here today. Stephanie, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me, sis. I count it an honor and a privilege to be in the beginning stages of your YouTube journey. I am super duper proud of you. I love you so, so much. And I'm just excited about what is going to happen in this journey of yours. I'm proud of you. I want to let you know that.
Oh, thank you so much, Stephanie. And then we have the Archbishop in the building, St. James from the
We've
St.
heard
James
many
Show.
things about you, Saint James. God bless you, Bishop. God bless you.
He is, in fact, amazing. Yes, please hit the like. So let's get into it as if we on the phone, honey. And I
Okay.
know you probably still not gonna do that all the way, but you're gonna give me a little one too. So let's start here. You are divorced. How
Yes.
long have you been divorced?
3 years.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah. Can you believe it?
What?
Yes.
I thought it was less than that. Okay, 3 years. 3 years.
Yep.
So tell me, what is the biggest misconception that people have in regards to divorce?
Hmm. Well, I think there are many misconceptions. Probably one of them would be people think once you get divorced, your hands are clean. You don't feel anything. The divorce is complete. You just running through the fields and the tulips
Mm,
as if, I'm free. Praise the Lord, I'm free, no longer bound.
mm.
People
Oh,
may not
she sing too, y'all. I forgot to say that. Go ahead.
people may not assume, Courtney, draw your mind in. People may not assume that there is a process that one must go through after divorce. We think once the papers are signed, the ink is dried, you're good. But there is a process that one must go through after divorce. And if you don't go through it, it's gonna circle the block. At some point, there are some things that you're gonna have to address about yourself, about your journey. If you have kids, it's layered
Mhm.
depending on what your particular situation is.
Okay. So let's go here. How long were you married?
I was married 16 years. Um, yeah, I was married 16 years. And
Why
my
I'm
divorce,
wilding like I didn't know that? I don't like that.
right,
Let me
I'm
stop
like,
being fake. I'm like,
now,
are you
girl,
serious? Oh my God. Cut it out. Okay. I had to check myself in front of y'all. Go ahead. No, I did think it was 15. I didn't know it was 16. I did think it was
it was 16 because when
okay.
I got my divorce papers were signed 7 days after my actual anniversary. So
Gotcha.
it was officially 16 years.
Okay.
Um, and
Okay.
then my divorce was finalized 7 days after my actual anniversary date.
Stephanie.
Yeah, girl.
So how did you feel? The ink dried 7 days after your wedding anniversary.
It was, I had mixed feelings. One, because my divorce date, signature date, was the 7th of that particular month. So
Mhm.
I was like, I went real deep and was like, it is finished.
You know what? You said it's the seventh day.
The seventh day, I said, oh, yes, look at the Lord. He said, it is complete. Close the door, daughter. Move forward. Um, so yeah, it was definitely interesting. I felt that side of things. I felt a level of relief because I felt like, just the divorce process for me was very traumatic.
Mm,
All of the things, the moving, the court, just
mhm,
everything that was involved for me, it was very traumatic. And then my personality was one, I felt like I was at the time more timid, more withdrawn. So I was going through several different levels of emotions.
mhm.
So I can't really give you just one because I felt like it was so layered, seeing as to where I was in life at the time.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe that divorce is usually the result of one major issue or many small issues over a period of time that becomes big?
I think there's many issues. A lot of times I feel like when we don't address things, and that was one of my issues, when we don't address things at the beginning, when we see them, we don't nip things in the blood in the bud
Mm-hmm.
immediately, we can find that those things snowball. And once they become huge things that you feel like you can't deal with or you can't overcome, then you're in a state where you're trying to figure out, hey, what am I going to do? Am I going to stick it out? Am I going to let it go? But sometimes we let things slide because we're of our love for that person, or we think that person is going to change, or all the things. We have
Mm-hmm.
our reasonings as to why we continue to allow certain behavior. But I do believe it's multiple things. And sometimes for some, it can be just one major thing, cheating or whatever the case may be. And then that one time we're like, I'm one and done. But to me, over
Mm-hmm.
time, when you love somebody, you extend a level of grace. And so for me, over time, to me, I think when it comes to most divorced people, it's things that's kind of been layered over years.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that the church plays a huge part in it? Now we're both church girls. Do you think the church plays a huge part in marriages not ending in divorce, or letting the build up happen to the point where you're forced into a divorce?
Of course. Especially when you're in ministries that are more traditional in their values. Um, I can say for me, growing up, it's a you cover your husband. What happens in your house stays in your house.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things that should have been addressed, or somebody calling somebody in and saying, "Look, we have this issue. This is going on. Whatever the case may be." You keep it quiet for long periods of time. And you say things like, well, this is a part of life. This is a part of marriage. I just need to learn to deal with it. I got to grow up. I married young. So, in my eyes, even with my own parents, I seen several tons of issues, when it came to my parents never divorced. They said they were several times,
Mm-hmm.
but it was still, they had a lot of toxicity too
Mm-hmm.
in their marriage, until they really got themselves together. But for me, growing up, it's you're a wife now. Put your big girl panties on,
Mm-hmm.
deal with what's going on in your house, and you don't talk of divorce. You don't divorce. It's
Mm-hmm.
you work it out, you push through, you figure it out. And that's just how we're taught. So a lot of things I can say for me, I kept quiet about, didn't say much about the things that were going on in my home, because I felt like, okay, well, this is just supposed to be how marriage is, and people have issues, people have problems. So I just need to keep it quiet and keep going and put my big girl panties on and be married. This is married life. But I felt like the church sometimes can teach us toxic traits of being silent.
Mm-hmm.
And then when things blow up and coming to the forefront, then it's like, oh, well, why didn't you say anything? It's like, well, you,
Right.
I was
Well, you
told,
had said.
right. So I
Mm,
feel like there's a lot of that sometimes within the church community. And again, it depends on the type of leaders that you have,
mhm.
and pastors that you have. Of course, younger pastors, they have a different perspective than some of the older ones.
I didn't think about that. You think so?
I
I've never
do.
been counseled by younger people,
I
so no.
haven't either. So
Okay.
I do feel though, with the way society is now, I don't know if a younger pastor, they're not going to be like, stick it out. You understand what I'm
Because
saying?
let me tell you something. Because if I ever, which I ain't gonna counsel nobody, but if I ever have to, run, Forrest. We believe in divorce. Okay. No, I'm teasing. Lord, let me stop. I'm playing, y'all. Don't kind of playing, but not really. A little bit. Okay. Okay, so then do you think that prior to your divorce, hold on, let me read this first. Sometimes the church can be a distraction and draw you away from your family life. The family life takes attention, effort, and patience. Some churches demand all your attention. Balance is needed. What do you think about that,
I
Stephanie?
do believe that. And it too, I think it depends on what role you play in your church.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, I was married to a musician.
Mm-hmm.
So, my ex-husband was a musician. So there was a lot of our time was devoted to the church. I did a lot within ministry. But at the same time, my church was very family oriented.
Mm-hmm.
So they really encourage you to spend time with your family, to be with your family, all the things. They're very heavy marriage ministry.
Wait,
Um,
wait. Jesse, stop. He said which instrument because it's level.
yeah, it is.
I hate that so bad.
It's
Do
sad.
you want to say the instrument or nah? He
He
was
was
the chief. He was the chief musician. Okay, we're gonna leave it like that. Hey, KJ Muscle. How about say music? That is funny. Look, Sabrina said he ain't lying.
talking about if I say what instrument he played, y'all gonna be like, yeah,
Right. Well,
yeah,
all
we
right.
figured. Yeah,
This chat is carrying on. This how we do. We care. Oh, she said worse.
worse. Yeah.
No lie found. So, what I wanted to ask you is before the buildup of the actual going to file the paperwork, seeking an attorney, all those things. What? How can I put this? Because I know you can't share everything. If you can, like in a roundabout way, what kind of brought you to the final breaking point? So you said previously there were little things that compiled into one big thing
Mm-hmm.
that gave you the, you know what, I really need to, it's time to go. So okay, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna ask it this way because I know there's a lot that you can't share. Um at what point in the marriage, excuse me, did you start feeling that nudge that maybe this is not salvageable? Maybe because I know before then, as a wife, because I've been a wife before myself,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when you see the turbulence, you're praying, you're like, God, if you want it, that's a whole other story for another day.
Yeah.
But you're praying, you're fasting, and you're believing God for your marriage. Okay, so I'll do it like that. So at what point did you feel like, you know what, I don't think God is gonna resurrect this thing?
I would say probably 2 years. Send me the cash app. Look, I don't I don't refuse any monetary blessings.
Piano players wouldn't do anything. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Um, I would say 2 years, probably 2 years before the bottom really fell out. I started to really question um if things were going to turn around. And I'll say this because sometimes I feel I'm gonna preface my statement with something else. I do understand.
Y'all don't stop cutting up. We trying to be serious and y'all is carrying on, okay?
Amen.
Look, the
Um,
drummer boy be drumming though. Nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing on that. Go ahead, sis. I'm
um,
sorry.
everybody has a part to play in a breakdown of a marriage.
Okay.
Everybody has something that they did or did not do that could have assisted or aided in the growth or the demise of the marriage.
Okay.
For me, and there were things, of course, that he definitely did. For me, my error was my silence. That was my error.
Mm.
Um,
Wait a
I
minute. Hold on. The error was your silence. Silence to him, silence to leadership. What?
silenced everybody.
Okay.
I waited too long to say something. Um, I was not. I kept quiet. I did one, and I had several reasons as to why I kept quiet. One, trying to protect the spouse. One, trying to protect me because a lot of it
Mhm.
I felt, and it was said to me, these things are happening because of you, right? So,
Wait a
it
minute.
was
Wait a minute. Hold on. We on the phone now. Did I know that? I didn't know that.
yes. So some things I'm gonna say and some things I'm not.
All right.
So physical, he would make statements like, I did this because you don't look how I want you to look.
Oh, so he said it. I thought someone came to you and said, okay, he said that to you.
Right,
I'm doing this because it's your fault, basically.
right,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So there were things because of what was said to me, I in turn just internalized everything.
Okay.
And so I was very quiet. And so when the mess hit the fan,
Mhm.
everybody's looking like, what?
What? Right.
Like what happened or how long? And it's like, well, this stuff been going on for a long time, and I just hadn't said anything. So I felt like I held on so long because one of my belief in God, and I felt like I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to be the one to be like, I quit. And then you have the other side of it where people will give you words, they will spiritualize things and tell you God's going to turn your marriage around and all the things. But what people don't realize is God still gives us the power of choice. And
Mm.
so, with him turning things around, that means that my actions got to change, and so does that person's have to change in order for there to be a turnaround, right? And
Mhm.
so, sometimes those things can be used in your mind as, well, Lord, why aren't you not Sister Reverend?
I was trying to, I was gonna keep a straight face, Reverend Graham. Over
Um,
with. I'm
So
calling you that
now
from
you're
now on.
having that
Mhm.
internal battle of, okay, God, why didn't you do it? And he's like, I can do anything, but I give choice. I give everyone a place of choice. You have an opportunity to choose what you desire. You have an opportunity to choose. Yes, I'll work on your behalf, but there are things that we have to do.
Mhm.
And it got to the point where I was like, reality hit, and I was like, oh yeah, he don't want this. I'm like,
Mm.
nothing you can say it that you do, but nothing within your actions is showing that you want there to be change or you want there to be something different. Everything was contrary. So I
Mhm.
think that's when I had to wake up and be like, okay, this is happening for real.
So he did say, he said, I want my family, I want my marriage, I want this,
Yeah.
but them actions wasn't in alignment.
No. You can say you want, but then when you've caused harm or damage to the marriage, and there are things that I say I need in order to regain trust, and you're not willing to do those, then what you said has gone out the door.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, well, if that's what you really want, then that means you're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that, okay, I want my spouse to feel comfortable. I want them to know that I care, and what I mean what I say. And so you will go above and beyond. But sometimes when you've been so low for so long, we will accept just anything, any
Mm.
small sign, and be like, oh, they're changing. Oh,
Mm.
things are doing something, and they ain't doing that. They doing the bare minimums just to get you off their track, or just to get you to think that they really doing something, and it ain't nothing.
Wow. What's an example of a bare minimum as a married person?
Saying I'm sorry.
Wow.
You can say you're sorry, but if your actions never change, um, when you're rebuilding trust, and every woman is different. Like, I remember asking for, okay, well, both of our phones need to be unlocked. I need to know codes.
Child.
I need to know
They
yours.
cut,
You need to know
they'll
mine.
cut their arm off for you before they get cold now. Wait a minute. Girl.
You know,
They cut their whole hand off. I'm
if
sorry.
it is true. Um, and that's on both ends. What do you need? Okay, this is what I need to feel safe. Can you
Hmm.
give me that? Well, you know,
Hmm.
we turning into somebody else. Well, do you want this to work? If
Hmm.
this is something that I'm saying that I need at this point, and you've breached trust, um, yeah. Somebody said codes, no codes. Yeah, I get it.
No codes. St. James. So so you mentioned previously, you've mentioned about going through the process in divorce, and I'll share this little tidbit before I ask this question. When I went through my divorce was very tumultuous, just the same. And so I said I didn't want to live in the same state. I wanted to go back home to a place that was familiar. I need that familiarity. I needed to be around people that genuinely really loved me, that would, maybe love me back to the place that I needed to be in. Hold on. The whole phone lock thing is weird to me. I guess we old over here. um and so once my divorce was settled, I moved back to Atlanta, because that's where you are. I moved back to Atlanta, and your girl said, I'm back out here, dang. Right. I didn't feel no ways tired for a minute. So, in other
Mhm.
words, what I'm saying is I didn't feel the emotional crush per se at first.
Mhm.
So, I had started dating, and I felt like, hey, I'm fine because of how the situation ended, and me not necessarily wanting it anymore, all of that. So, I felt like I was good. Like I had nothing to get over, and all of that. And then I remember dating this one guy, and he said to me, because people gonna ask the question, so are you, you single? What's gonna have you been married before? And so then I said, I'm divorced. How long have you been divorced? And at that time, it wasn't like a long time. I was like, well, I'm good. Um, and he said to me, he was like, you have not gone through your grieving process yet. And I said to him, I have nothing to grieve. He said, oh, it'll hit you.
Mhm.
You just wait. So he didn't want to get too serious with me because he knew that I hadn't gone through that process that you go through in divorce. And I was like, okay, whatever, because I'm good, all of this and then the third, until one day that thing hit me like a ton of bricks, crying uncontrollably. I couldn't figure out why, because I wasn't, in love or anything like that. So, my question to you is, what is the hardest emotional phase of divorce?
Good question. That might be different for everyone. I can say for me, it was the ending of what I thought was the perfect world.
Mm.
Growing up in the church, you save yourself for marriage, you get married, you have kids, the dog, and the picket fence.
Mm-hmm.
That
And
is,
you literally had all that. Go ahead.
that's, you know, that is the persona you're given, right? And so when my marriage ended, that image of perfection in the church for me was I felt like damaged goods. It was like,
Mm.
okay, who's gonna want me now? I I was considered a cream of the crop woman.
Mm-hmm.
There were many gentlemen that wanted to date me, marry me, all the things,
Mm-hmm.
and I did not air out why we were getting divorced. So there were a lot of questions. Um, there was there was a lot tied to that. So I felt like I was trapped, now in a community of people that I had grown up with. All of my friends were married, still
Mm-hmm.
married. I was the only divorced in my age bracket, and many just did not know what had transpired.
Well, hold on, pause. They didn't know the truth.
Yes,
They knew a side of the story, but they
yes,
didn't know the truth.
yes, yeah. And so when you have, um, someone that portrays certain things
Mm.
on platforms and all the things, it's another level because people don't know the real. They
Mm.
don't know the things that you could air, you could say, all the things, family included, you know. So for me, that was probably the hardest part, is really grieving something that I held in high esteem, which was I knew I was created to be a wife. I was as loving as I could be. I did the best that I knew how with what I had. I
Mm-hmm.
was a mother, to a son that I was told that I would never be able to have. I was, told that I would never be able to conceive. And so the Lord blessed us with a miracle child. So all of these things that I felt like I had endured, I had stayed through several instances years prior, in our marriage, that should have ended the marriage. And for it to be demolished the way it was like I felt destroyed. I felt like, it was a space where um, I could not be repaired.
So when we're going through the grieving process, I know there's 7 stages to grief. And I think that the 7 stages to grief applies to not just death
Yeah.
in the physical, but it's also death of relationships, death of um
Dreams, goals,
jobs.
aspirations.
Yeah.
It's all the above. And I think for me, mine was so layered because I had already lost several significant people in my life prior
Mm-hmm.
to my divorce. I lost my dad in the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I was People in my life were dying that were very important to me, and they were men,
Mm-hmm.
men in my life. I lost my godfather suddenly, lost my father, lost two uncles. So there were strong men in my life that it was like they were in an instant, they were gone. It was like back to back. I was just year after year, I was losing someone.
Mm.
So by the time I got to my divorce ending, I was at my wits' end. I just felt like, Lord, you've taken everything, every good thing that I have, that I even could lean on during this time. I don't have those things anymore, which was my dad. He was huge in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So to not have him through my divorce, that was tough.
Mm-hmm. And do you think, talking about your father's passing, do you think that there were some things that was done because, hold on, let me back up. Let me say this. So I know that your husband is your covering, right? But there's a special covering when it comes to a father or a male figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel as though once your male figure departed this earth, some things had went amok after that? Like it really went haywire, or was it consistently
Oh,
the same?
oh yeah, that ninja would have got beat if my father was alive. Not just my father, but even my godfather. If he was alive, some things I feel like I would not have had to deal with because of their presence.
Mm,
Um, I think some things my ex did just because he knew ain't nobody here to come after you. You know what I'm saying? And my dad was a paraplegic. He would have got up out that chair.
don't
You
do
know,
it. And
we
would.
he would have. I mean, Courtney, you know him. You know what I'm saying? He would have found him. There are certain things that I don't think I would have had to, and maybe I still would have. I just don't know if the impact would have been as great because I would have had my dad. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying?
mhm.
I would have had me to kind of carry me through that time.
Let
To
me read
assist.
this comment. Many churches don't allow you to be truly vulnerable, broken, and show your not so beautiful parts. Liberation come from these. Ooh, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's true, but I think sometimes the church is afraid of vulnerability. Because when we're vulnerable, it causes others to have to be vulnerable too. And sometimes I think in Christendom, we can be so heavenly minded where no earthly good, right? We can be taught so many spiritual things
Mhm,
to where the natural things sometimes is taken out. We don't talk about just grief. Now, like at my church, I notice there's more talk and grief, but that's because so many people have lost so many
die.
people. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying? Like sometimes things are birthed within the church once there's like a repeat of offense of certain issues, and then it's like,
mhm,
oh yeah, we do need to talk about it, but it really should have been things that should have been said and dealt with a long time ago. But I think sometimes it takes us having to have repeat experiences for us as the church
mhm,
to really say, you know what, we should be addressing this issue.
mhm. I feel as though there should be an um, exit meeting, just like you exit counseling, just
Yeah.
like you have premarital counseling. I think that there should be something in place to where whoever counseled you into the marriage
Mm-hmm.
should be able to counsel you out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why is it that we do not have something like that? I'm not saying all churches because I don't know, but for the most part, there aren't too many churches that have something like that, or that has um, a support group for people that are experiencing and going through divorce.
I think because there's still a stigma around divorced people, period. Sometimes some churches are still in that mind frame of uh you can't remarry again, or you know what I'm saying, like they have those biblical principles behind their beliefs as it pertains to divorce. So I think because it can be such a topic of taboo for
Mhm,
some, they don't know how to approach it, so they can't cater to it, because they're
mhm,
battling. Leadership can be battling within themselves on their perception of divorce. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? On what they believe should and shouldn't be when it comes to divorce. You understand what I'm saying?
Because it is strongly taught God hates divorce.
Yep.
God hates divorce. But the Bible goes on to say he hates it because the hardness of men's heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it was designed and created. Now, this is my part. It was designed and created, divorce was, for that cause.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mhm.
hardness of men's heart. And if I'm not, let me not go this way because I'm not a theologian, but I will say that I believe that in those times, the men were getting those, marrying those virgins and then being done with them. If I'm not mistaken, you the prophet, you would know better than me, Reverend Stephanie. But so why is it? It's almost like it's not shunned, but it's like it's just really not touched. Divorce is not touched
Yeah.
in the church like
Yeah.
that.
And you have to too, if your leadership has never been through divorce, then it's definitely not touched. Like for instance, I'll say for the church that I'm in, they're very family oriented.
Hmm.
So that's all you see. You know what I'm saying? That's all you hear about is family, marriage ministry, all the things. But when it comes to the divorce, those that are divorced and all the things, they don't talk about it. And sometimes that's true.
Hmm.
Um Failure or sin, yes, I believe that. I really do believe that leadership really has a hard time wrapping their mind around supporting someone who has gone through divorce. One, if because if they don't know all the details, of the divorce. Two, they really don't know how to cater to divorced ones and having
Hmm.
those real conversations when it comes to grief, emotions. What do how are you handling your sexual activity? All the things, those are things that,
That's good, Stephanie.
how do you go from being married for umpteen years and all of
Hmm.
a sudden you single? What you doing? It's
Hmm.
like we don't know how to have those real conversations. And honestly, Courtney, if you haven't gone through it, you really can't have the conversation because you don't
Hmm.
understand. You will give a biblical perspective on what you think it should be, but you don't understand it because you haven't gone through it.
Mm. That was good, Stephanie. Church and our Black community praise women for enduring
That's
suffering.
true.
That is crazy. We go through hell,
Yeah.
come back with the testimony and the kids to match. And it's like, and we're still kind of looked at sideways because we got up out of there.
Yeah.
Almost like you should have stayed, you should have stuck through it.
Yeah.
God is able.
But that's what
Like
you hear
what?
though. Those are the things that you hear. You hear the people will use the word of God
Hmm.
to justify actions that are contrary to the character of Christ.
Ooh, that's good.
You know, and they will tell you it's going to be okay. Nobody's perfect, and you know what I'm saying? All the things, which is true, but you still have to understand there is a line. There is a line. People have a breaking point,
They
and
do.
we don't talk about it. We just say, just hang in there.
Well, okay, so what about, because I'm sure you thought about this. Um, I don't think I did, but I'm sure you thought about this though, as far as those marriages that you have seen over the years, that you've heard the testimonies of, that it was hell on wheels, it was a very broken situation, multiple infidelities, and it just everything, it was just a mess, and then they came back together and now they are leading the charge for marriage. Like, do you think that you really should like hang on to get to that point?
I know people that have done that. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to be honest. I That was my hope and wish. Okay? Like listen, it's going to get real bad before it gets good. And
Mhm.
then we're going to have we're going to travel the world and we're going to tell people of God's saving power and
Did you see that though for yourself?
his delivering power. I saw that for years. Like I was just like, this is gonna be our testimony. This is gonna be part of our ministry, and we're gonna just go and live for God, and you know what I'm saying, and we're gonna save marriages all across the world, it's gonna be worth it. The pain, the tears, the hurt, the anger, the
Mhm.
frustration, the trials, the tribulations, because I knew that if we did come out, of course we would be able to go and snatch some other marriages, right? Because of what we had endured was so great on
Mhm.
so many levels, from my health issues to, what I'm saying, the issues in our marriage, all the things. So in my mind, oh, this is a setup. This is God is setting us up. We gonna make it.
Mhm.
And then it's like, at what point do you say self and yourself say, huh, girl, we not gonna make it?
So get off my line. I don't want to tell you how long I survived. It was less than that. Back to you though. So, wow.
But that's our church narrative, though. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's the lingo. If you suffer, wow. You know what I'm saying? We will quote scriptures all day to justify abuse, to justify harm, to just, you know what I'm saying? We will do it. And sometimes I don't even know if we really realize what we're doing.
I don't think we do. And let me say this, because there's a certain platform, people with these powerful testimonies of sticking and staying for years.
Mm-hmm.
And let me say this, if you choose to stay, God bless you. If you choose to stay for however long you stay, and your marriage ends up on the other side allegedly, because I don't know, because if a man do these certain things to you, I feel like he really don't like you, let alone love you. But that's neither here nor there. But every time I see these testimonies, Stephanie, I cringe. I'm not like, oh wow, praise the Lord, look at God. I'm like,
Why you stay?
number one, why you stay? Number two, Lord, please don't give me no love like that. I know we got to go through some kind of hardship and journey, but my God, I don't want it like that.
Yeah,
Please.
that's that struggle love. That's that we gonna find love at the end with all the things. I don't think we see enough of you shouldn't stay. You know what I'm saying? We don't hear enough of that. We hear a lot of stay, stick it out, God's gonna do it, but we don't hear enough of, look, if he's hurting you, if you're being abused mentally,
Abuse of any
of
kind.
any kind. Yeah,
We normally want to hang our hat
just
on
on the
physical,
physical. Yep.
but emotional abuse is just as damaging and just as bad.
Yeah.
The only difference is your bruises are within.
Yeah.
They may not necessarily be seen.
Yeah.
I don't think that you should be in a marriage where you're talked to like a dog.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But they're not going to tell you that. Now I will say this. I will say that yes, Londa, God cares about your safety and your wholeness. He
Yeah.
is our father, and I'm not
Yeah.
trying to equate him to a physical dad, but he is our father. He's our covering. He covers us. He loves us. We are his daughters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why we would think it's okay to endure such harshness
Mm-hmm.
on both ends, because there are some men that are in unhealthy marriages just the same.
Very true.
And so my thing is, and I've heard pastors say, we do not believe in divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in divorce. I'm getting up out of there if it goes left. Now, I understand that people are forever growing. I get it. You are becoming one with another individual. So it's two individuals, two single individuals that have been single for years,
Mm-hmm.
trying to merge their life together into one. You're going to come up against some things that are not comfortable. I understand that. I get that. But there should be, at the foundation, there
Right.
should be a certain point to which you say, we cannot cross this boundary right here. This
Right.
is not healthy. This is not safe.
Right.
And if we cross this boundary, we need to get help outside of us and outside of our family. And if you do not want to get help outside of us and outside of our family, I'll even go as far as, okay, if you're not comfortable going to the church, that's fine, but we need to get licensed professional help. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're not willing to do that, then I don't know if I can proceed
Mm-hmm.
because I feel unsafe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very true. Very
But
true.
but we don't talk about that
Yeah.
because oftentimes we're waiting for the testimony. And I don't think, and this is just my opinion, I don't think that, especially if you're of a certain age, I don't think that struggle love is necessary. If you're young, like you said, you married in your early 20s, mid 20s,
Mm-hmm.
you married in your early 20s, mid 20s, people are evolving.
Right.
There may be some selfishness there. There may be some stubbornness there. There may be, certain things, but at what point, Stephanie, is it time to say, all right, like should there be foundational boundaries developed and discussed early on prior to marriage?
I think so, but at the same time, Courtney, how many times have we been in relationships and said that, okay, this is a boundary for me, but we've allowed that person to cross the boundary because we love that person and we're like, we'll give them another try. They're not perfect. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I think that is, those are things that we do.
Yes.
You know, we do. We constantly say this is a boundary, don't pass this boundary, but we let people that we love cross those boundaries. And that's just not just in marriage,
That's true.
that's across the board. So I think, to me, in marriages there has to be a level of accountability to someone else. I think
Mhm.
that's key when it comes to you being married to somebody, like you all being accountable to another couple. And I don't want no struggle love me either.
Listen.
um I think boundaries are good, but I do think having someone that both of you all agree is a couple that you all can take matters to, that is a neutral party that can really help you all navigate. But it has to be someone that is that both of you all trust. It can't be somebody where that only knows the wife, so it's just gonna take the wife's side, or only
Mhm.
knows the male, and the husband is only gonna take the husband's side. But I think there needs to be something else outside of boundaries. And that boundary, like I said, for me, I think moving forward in any relationship is going to be, especially with getting wanting to get married again, I
Mhm.
do want there to be another couple that we are both accountable to. And that person being someone that we can be completely transparent with, about anything. And that is, in a space that we are both willing to listen to. Because to me, that's one of our things. I felt like we didn't have anybody that I could share with, and be transparent about the things that were happening in the beginning. Because one, I was embarrassed, and then I was like, well, it's my fault. You're going through all these things. But I do feel like there are boundaries we should set. What those boundaries look like, you really got to be honest, because when you're in love and all the things,
That's true.
sometimes we let stuff slide. We just do.
Yeah. What Mark said, you teach people how to treat you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what was I going to ask you? So before we transition to, life after divorce, I did want to ask you, you had referenced We were talking about boundaries. I hate that. I lost my train of thought because I did have a good question in regards to that. Oh, at what point should you start dating after divorce?
I think it depends on the person, honestly. Um, if you feel like you're in a space where you're healed, you're not trying to use the person you're dating to heal, because that is something we do. We use and we replace
Hmm.
things in our lives to try and be that sufficient space. And it doesn't have to be a dating thing. It could be food. It could be drinking. It could be, we can use vices, men, sex, women, all the things to replace something. But I think when you're in a good space, you understand what you want. You are healed within yourself, whether you have somebody or you don't have anybody. You content. I think that's in that space. Then you really have an open. You can be ready. Get outside. He will.
But now, Doc, Reverend Dr. Stephanie.
It don't happen that way,
No,
but
hold on. Let me ask you this, because a lot of times when you're single for quite some time, you feel like you got it going on. You feel like you healed. I am healed, like 100%. You feel like, until someone tries to enter your space,
yes.
and then next thing you know, a button and got pushed. You ain't even realize.
Block.
No, but what I'm saying is, so then how do you know if you're completely healed?
I don't know that we're ever completely healed. I feel like God uses people to help reveal to us where we are. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm.
to me, it's ultimately about the maturity of that person and to say, okay, when that person comes in my life, how am I responding to those areas where I'm feeling uncomfortable? Am I open to see there's still some areas in me that need to be healed? Or am I just completely shutting somebody down and being like, it ain't me, it's you?
Mm.
Am I in that space where I'm willing? Because marriage is a mirror. That person is gonna rub you the wrong way, and they're gonna show you all day.
Every day and twice on Sunday.
They're gonna show you you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a constant becoming one. It's a constant becoming. So I feel like when you do start dating, you have to kind of see where you are. What are your red flags? How are you feeling? Are you shunning certain areas? Are you feeling like it ain't me? Or are you really taking a moment to retrospect and say, okay, well, it looks like I do need to work on this area more. I'm willing to work on it.
Mhm.
You just have to see kind of where you are.
Yeah, marriages work. Absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely. How much work? Speaking of work, how much work should one put on the? Okay, how much work should one put on themselves before entering into the work of marriage? So, in other words, what does the work of singleness look like?
Therapy and Jesus. Therapy is key, especially in the African American community. There are a lot of traumas and triggers we have that are from our childhood that we have never addressed. Never. And then when we get in marriage, some of that stuff comes out. You know what
Some
I'm
of
saying?
it,
All of it.
baby.
So we definitely need to do as much work. There are things that marriage taught me about me that I'm working on now so that when my spouse does come, I'm not dealing with some of those areas anymore. Or if I am, I'm more refined, I'm more
Mhm,
mature, I'm more aware, I'm more
mhm.
emotionally intelligent. Marriage teaches you about you.
Yes.
So while you're single, take as much advantage of searching you, finding out who you are, finding out what makes you tick, finding out your triggers. Why are things those triggers? Dealing with healing from parents, healing from childhood traumas, what your parents didn't do, who wasn't there for you, why you felt this way, why you do this, why you revert to this, to gratify you when you're disappointed, dealing with your issues or how you respond to trauma. You know, deal with those things while you're single. So that way, when a partner does come along, it doesn't mean that you have to be perfect, but it does mean that you need to be able to be self-aware
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to a space where you're like, you know what? This is an issue. I notice I do this when I get angry. I shut down. I don't talk. I don't do anything, but I want to become a better communicator. You know, so those are things that you work on now. Work on them.
And that's the appropriate way to do the work. I know a lot of single people feel like doing the work is traveling all the time, which is great. Don't get me wrong. But we feel like if we travel, if we get our money up, if we, do all of these things outside of the inward work, that we're good, we're solid. I got my career, I got my dream home, I did all of this and I did it single. But without doing that work on the inside, are you still at a deficit even though you have it going on?
Exactly. Because if truth be told, Courtney, if we take those things away, if we take away the money, if we take away the houses, the cars, the trips, and we're sitting alone by ourselves, what do we feel?
Mm.
What am I feeling internally? Am I feeling like I'm not good enough? Am I feeling like, because we'll use those things as replacements. We'll use those things as gratifiers to make us feel successful. But one thing I feel like divorce has taught me is it is not about the things.
Mm.
If I don't have individual peace of mind,
Come
if
on.
I don't know my self-worth,
Mm.
if everything were to go away, if I didn't have anything, if I don't have my peace, we got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to really get down to the nitty gritty of ourselves. Who am I without all the things? Because we bury ourselves. It's easy. It's easy to bury yourself in things, in work, climbing the career
Yes.
ladder, taking selfies, letting the world know, oh, I'm out here, I'm
Mm.
living big, I'm doing it up, I'm doing all these things. But when you at home by yourself, where are you at? Are you depressed?
Mm.
Or do you have joy? Is your joy because of these things? Or is
Mm.
your joy truly an individual thing? Is it something that you have on the inside to where it's like, look, if I have to start over, I can start over because I'm good eternally. Internally, I know who I am, I know
Mm.
where I'm going. So if I'm starting from scratch, I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna get there. And then your happiness is not contingent upon things, but it's because you know who you are. You truly know who you are internally. And
But
it's
how many, I'm sorry, but how many people have built their identity around being a wife,
yes,
being a mother?
I did that.
Hello.
I did that. Me.
No, watch this. I'm gonna really hit you with one. I hung my hat on being divorced and wore it like a badge of honor. And the Holy Spirit had to check me on that.
Yeah.
Because when I had started back after the grief phase, I had stopped dating and, went through my grief and all that stuff like that. And then when I entered back into the dating space, I realized that I was proud to say that I was divorced because that meant that someone honored me enough to marry me.
Mm, mm,
We don't really talk about the fact that married women sometimes look down on single women
mm-hmm,
because they got the ring.
mm-hmm. It's true.
We
It's
don't want to
true.
talk about I'm a
We
wife and I'm
don't.
a mother.
Yep. And we will describe ourselves as that. I did that. Oh,
Hi,
tell us
Courtney,
about
tell me.
you.
Yep.
We'll be like, tell me about you. I'm a wife. I've been married to my man for all these years. I'm a mother to a beautiful son. You didn't hear nothing about who I was. It was always about my titles. That was my identity. So the grief for me was so great because outside of being a wife and a mom, what am I? Who am I? I don't know anything else outside of washing your drawers and cooking your food every day. I don't know anything else.
Wow.
And then you feel something else we don't talk about is you feel like once you do get divorced, your married friends start looking at you funny. Why? Because they like, we don't want our husbands to be looking at you because now you divorced.
Ma'am. I didn't think about that one. Yikes.
You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So
Mhm.
people start acting funny. People
Wow.
start acting weird. They don't know how to treat you. My entire friend group is married. My entire all of us got married within like 2
Yep.
years. My entire friend group. When
Mhm.
I say entire, my
Entire,
entire
all of
friend
them.
group, and Courtney knows my entire friend group is married. So going from always, and we would travel together, we would do dinner together. All of us had kids around the same time. Our kids grew up together, all the things.
Mhm.
So now all of a sudden, your girl is single. Ain't
And they
nobody
looking like,
calling me.
uh,
It's a whole new different world. So my identity within my friends, all the things, everything has shifted.
for me in that aspect, it was different though. But I understand in your makeup, I get it. For me, I did not care. And I was okay with losing all of them.
See, I think I would have been okay, Courtney, if I had single friends that could kind of help me through the process or
Okay.
friends that had been divorced that could help me through. Like, of course, you and I live in two different states. And we talked a lot, through my
Mhm.
process. But it was still a challenge, because my friend group they were my friend group, people I've grown up with since I was 5.
Mm-hmm. But see, here's the thing, and Londa, I understand what you're saying. Before she was any of those, she was a whole person with dreams, opinions, desires, purpose, all of that.
Yeah.
And you are 100% right, and you're correct in that regard. But here's the thing, especially in the church, especially in the church, when you are taught about being a wife, you're not necessarily taught, hey, go to school, go pursue your passions, go, do this, that, and the third. You're taught how to be a wife. And in that, you're like, okay, you desire to be a wife. I'll take it even a step further, going all the way back. As little girls, we're playing with dolls while boys are playing with Spider-Man and nowadays Beyblades and going outside and they're doing other things. We're playing with kitchen sets. You see that? We're playing with baby dolls, kitchen sets, and automatically set before us is the standard of being a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Not being a doctor, not being a lawyer, but being a wife. What do we play when we're growing up? We play what? House.
Mm-hmm.
Boys don't, they play house. That's the whole other thing. But boys not saying, hey man, let's go play house. Y'all want to play house?
Mm-hmm.
Boys not saying, hey man, let's go get these dolls and comb hair and do this, that, and the third. As soon as we are babies, we are handed baby dolls. We are handed babies. You see that? So it is very easy coupled with the church. Who you laughing at? Purity classes.
No, I'm laughing at St. James.
Oh, what he say? I was so mad. I know you was. I know you was. I was a queen of the I'm not finna fool with y'all.
Horrible.
Y'all know what I'm saying. Oh my God. But it's the truth though. Boys, and I was telling my girls, and I raised them definitely differently. I was telling my girls, I said, let me tell you something. You know, they like boys. They're teenagers, right? And I was telling them, I said, look, when these boys go home, like they're like fresh teenagers. So they're in middle school,
Mm-hmm.
okay, or junior high. And so I'm telling them, you know, I'm telling them, I said, listen, y'all sitting up here talking about these boys outside of school. When I tell you, as soon as they leave from your presence, they're not thinking about you. When I tell you they go home to they Ninja Turtles and they Beyblades and they jumping off of bunk beds and wrestling and doing everything but thinking about you.
Mm-hmm.
And these girls are joking. That's my husband. That's this and that. I'm saying all of this to say at early ages, we are given the image of motherhood and of being a wife. And
Mm-hmm.
boys are not given that same thing. That's
Mm-hmm.
why it's hard for them. Some of them grow up and say, I want to be, you know, a husband one day. But for the most part, the only reason why they want to be that husband is because they seen their mom be a single mother and struggle and they don't want to be that man. That's a whole other story for another day. But I'm saying all that to say that it's easy, and then especially in the church, it is very easy to lose your identity if you do not have a voice that's saying, hey, it's more to you than this. What else?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to be? You want to be a doctor? You want to be a lawyer? You want to sing? You want to act? What you want to do? Let's
Mm-hmm.
invest in that. You see what I'm saying? Let's see. We measure a woman's worth by whether she is chosen by.
That's true. It's very true. Very true. Very
I
true.
hate that.
Yeah. Very true.
It starts in the home. You are
Yep.
absolutely right. And that's what I tell my girls. I tell them it is, listen, you cute, but we have to do more than be cute. You understand? Let's see here. The pastor's wife I grew up with stood up one Sunday and with pride uh, that she didn't know how to pay a bit. This is the truth,
It's
though,
true though.
because her husband did everything and taught the sisters the same.
I have friends that are like that. Like they do not know anything. If something were to happen, and my divorce was a wake-up call for them. Because they're like, okay, if my husband walks off, what I'm gonna do? I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't have a
Stephanie,
job. Uh, I don't know how to do this or that. And I was like, you better figure it out. You
you
have to have something for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that.
nothing wrong with that. Let's draw close to our conclusion because I could really go on this topic. But so what does life look like after divorce for you? How long did it take you to find out what you really like, what you're into now? What, you know, how long did it take you to really uh evolve, like bring out the evolution of Stephanie?
I would say this last year has really um, opened me up to more of what I want. Because the first couple of years I spent trying to get me and my son stable.
Jesse.
you know, um, I spent a lot of time trying to get us stable. You know,
Mhm.
I have been out of the workforce for several years. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But I have been out of the workforce for several years. So when my divorce happened, I had to figure it out. I had a child that, had to be fed, clothed, a roof over his head. So I spent, the first couple of years really grinding, hustling, trying to create a stable life for us. So I think now I'm in a space where I feel like I can focus more on the things that I desire. Um, because
Excuse me.
we're just in a better place. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So now I'm probably within the last year, I feel like I'm now like I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. I know some of the things that I want to go back and do, and some of my goals and desires are being revived. And I think once you come out of that survivor's mode,
Mhm.
those things have more of a space to be able to come forth because you're not surviving anymore. You're really starting to
Mhm.
to live and thrive.
That's good. And how do you know the difference? How, when do you realize the difference between I'm surviving? I know you just said that, for a minute you had to get it out the mud. You had to start from the bottom because you were a stay-at-home wife
Yeah.
with um with an illness, right?
Hmm.
Phew.
It was a
How
lot.
did you how did you go from that to thriving?
A lot of therapy. A lot of therapy. And still in therapy. But that really helped me because there had to be a mindset shift. Ultimately, because at first the only thing I could focus on were the negatives. Okay, I ain't got no money. I don't have anything. I don't have a job. I don't, I have this illness that I'm dealing with. I don't know if I can work. Part of the reason why I wasn't working was because of, what I was dealing with physically.
Mhm.
Um, so it's like, what am I going to do? Everything is falling on me now. If I don't work, we don't eat. We ain't got no lights. We didn't, I didn't have some of the comforts that some people do have, a family and friends and all the
Mhm.
things. No, I had to figure it out. And many times going to work, it started out, I was just working part time, because that's all my body could handle. And even part time was a challenge.
Mhm.
So I didn't think, you hear sometimes your exes to say, you're not going to make it without me, and, all the things. And for a long time, I thought that was true. I didn't
Mm.
know that I would be able to make it, without him because it was so scary. And just not knowing what to do, not knowing, it wasn't like it was just me. It's something when you go through divorce and it's just you. When
Right.
you have kids, when you have children involved, it's a whole nother level. Um,
Baby.
And
Whew.
so I really had to make some very strong decisions, um, concerning my health and concerning just I had to hit the ground running. There was times I was working like three part-time jobs. I was door dashing. I was, contract working for a company. I was doing a little bit of this. I was teaching. I was doing a little bit of everything, just trying to make ends meet.
Mhm.
And it was a struggle. It was, I was on that welfare, getting them food stamps as much as
Hello.
I could. There was times I was going to these organizations like, can you pay my power bill? Put some money on that power bill account, on that Greystone. Because look, if you don't, we gonna be in trouble. Um, my brother had to send me a car, because I didn't have a car, I didn't have any transportation. So it was traumatic. So to be on the side where I can breathe,
Mm,
um, I can exhale. Um, we good. I last year I was able to take my son on vacation for his
mhm,
birthday. That was a huge accomplishment for me. Never thought that I would be able to do that. Because I just all I had was we were just making it. We were just,
mm,
we just had enough. So being able to take him on vacation, being able to do things for him that he likes, being able to give him an allowance, like just
mhm,
things that may seem small to someone else are huge for me. It gives you another level of appreciation,
mhm.
because sometimes, we just think it all comes together, but just being able to pay your rent,
Hello.
um, some of the experiences that I had as a child growing up with not having water or lights being off, or, those are things that my son hasn't had to experience. So, yes, this is the other side of through, as we would say in
Yes.
church. You know what I'm saying? This
Mhm,
is that side where now I can start to say, okay, Stephanie, what are the things that you want to do? Where do you want to put your energy? What feeds you? How do you want to grow, and what else do you want to do? So that's that other side. That's the other side.
man. So, excuse me. What is next for Stephanie? What do you have going on now?
Oh, I'm in the middle of writing my next book.
Tell them
With
the title of the first book.
Okay, so the first book was a women's devotional, was a 30-day, 31-day devotional called Perfect Imperfections. And that book was centered around seeing God in the midst of our imperfections. Sometimes, as women, it's easy for us to always see what we're not good at, or to always see the negative when it comes to ourselves. But that book was definitely a space of me finding God even in my raw moments, in my raw spaces of, hey, I may not be this, but I'm this. God can take my insecurity, He can take my low self-esteem, He can take all of those issues, my health issues, and turn them into something beautiful. Because the analogy that I have on the front of my book is a picture of a diamond. But the diamond, when you look closely at it with a magnifying glass, it shows words that show imperfection. So it can say low self esteem or health issues or different things. But the beauty about diamonds is, they're authentic by their imperfections. And
Mm.
so that book was a space for me to really share that my realness shows my authenticity, and
Oh,
it's
that's good.
okay for me to expose those things, to show those things, because it's those spaces that, one, people really get an opportunity to see who God is. But
Mhm.
not only that, it shows that I'm a real woman.
Right.
Nobody is perfect.
Right.
And we beat our faces, we do all the things, right?
Yes.
To present perfection,
Mhm.
right? But there's something about vulnerability, there's something
Oh,
about
that's
our
good.
authenticity, there's something about the areas in which we are being perfected.
Mm.
And it's in those areas that I truly believe in this day and time that God really wants us to reveal and show and
Mhm.
portray, because it then shows we need a perfect God.
Mm.
We don't have it all, and that's okay. We are created and built to need Him, to desire Him. And once we have Him, He teaches us about those things. He teaches us how to turn those imperfections into testimonies, how to turn those traumas, into spaces of being able to share with someone so that they can overcome. So that's my first devotional, and it is. I
Is it available?
It may still be available on Amazon. It may not be, because it's been a while. But I am relaunching that book. I am relaunching it
Okay.
later this year.
Okay.
So I'll definitely make sure I let you know. But I am going to relaunch that book so that I do have more copies available. But then my second book is really going to be about us as women blooming, blossoming,
Mm-hmm.
and the process of what that looks like, the process that we go through, and really not despising that process. I'll talk a lot about my story and my journey and different things like that, but
Mm-hmm.
we are all created to bloom, to blossom. And a lot of times we're not blooming and blossoming to our fullest potential because we're not in a space, or we haven't positioned ourselves in a space to be in fertile ground to be able to bloom and blossom. And there are things that
Ooh.
keep us from blooming and blossoming. And those are some of the things that I'll talk about in my next book.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be good. And you're currently working on that.
I am. So, Lord willing, it'll come out next year. But there's some things I want to do around it. I do want to do more, like gathering of women, really talking more
Mm-hmm.
in detail, having open, honest spaces. I do want to do more training, more seminars, women's events, so that we can really heal and we can blossom truly in all aspects of our lives, because that's how we were designed. We were designed to blossom, and not just spiritually, but naturally, emotionally, physically, all the things. But we can all look at our own lives and see areas where we are not blossoming. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's time for us to really start examining those areas, to really begin to focus on those areas so that we can maximize our production. Uh,
Yes.
and that in not just within ourselves, but then in how we touch others,
Mm-hmm.
how we impact the world, how we impact society, our workspaces, marketplace,
Mm-hmm.
indeed, and also in the church community.
Listen, before we go, we're gonna wrap it up here. When I tell you, but y'all, this is what I get on the phone all the time. And when I tell you, she is just such a tremendous gift in my life and to the body of Christ. She is a reverend. She's a minister. And so the chat calling you Reverend Stephanie. Stephanie, what would you say to a woman right now that is either, or a man that is either in the midst of divorce, freshly divorced, or considering divorce?
I would say feel all the feelings. Embrace every feeling that you have, including the ones where you want to bust the windows out the car, you know? Um, I think sometimes we have a tendency to tell people to get over stuff quick.
Mm,
We put timelines on people's process. Don't let anybody put a timeline on your process. Your process is not going to be like anybody else's. And I learned that, I have friends that, me and Courtney talked a lot. We've always talked a lot, but just through my entire divorce process. And one thing I appreciate about her is she didn't rush me. She didn't rush me. She didn't rush me through my process. She didn't rush me and say, "Girl, you should be past that. What you doing? Like, what's the problem?" You need people like that in your life when it comes to divorce, going through divorce, because you will circle the block on anger. You'll think you passed it, and you'll be like, "Ooh, I'm feeling good," and something will trigger you and happen, and you'll be right back at that anger stage.
mm-hmm.
And so you really need a community of people that is going to support you through your process. Have people around you that can truly, that you can truly be transparent with. Have people in your life that you can truly be honest with. There are many times I've called Courtney, been like, "I'm about to do this." And I would tell her, "Look, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that, I done went and did this." And she would be raw with me. We would talk like girlfriends do. Sometimes she'll be like, "Just go ahead and do it, sis, because I know, just do what you need to do. Just do it this one time." You need people in your life that will allow you to just be when you are in your process of divorce, not
Yes.
throwing those scriptures at you, not throwing no Bible at you, not telling you need to hurry up and get over it, but truly just allowing you to go through your process. Community is important when you're
Yes.
going through divorce. And you're going to find those that don't fit your life anymore. Don't be afraid of that.
Mm.
Relationships are going to shift. I had very close relationships. A lot of them have shifted because of my current state. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of change. Not just the change of you not being married anymore, but the change of relationships shifting, friendships shifting, people treating you different. Don't be afraid of those things. Know that something beautiful is going to come out at the end of your process.
Listen. Um excuse me. I had to. I saw a message. I was listening to you, Stephanie. I saw a message about
Mm.
the Zelle tag, and you're absolutely right because I had to do something else. I had to switch it, so I'm switching it back right now. So give me like 3 seconds. But that is so spot on. Let me ask you this: are you doing your group sessions? Are you bringing your group sessions back?
I am. So I
Good.
am bringing my group sessions back, my group coaching sessions back. I'm going to bring them back in the spring. So in April, you guys will, I will be doing some group sessions with women on all different topics. Everything from, I'm going to bring Do the Work back.
Yes.
And that is, I believe, a 5 or 6 week course on really truly doing the work, what that looks like, and identifying what your work is,
Mm-hmm.
and really taking the steps to doing the work. We talk about the work, but we don't necessarily do the work. And so that is a 6 week course that I am going to bring back. But I am going to do some group coaching in April. Yes, bringing it back.
Okay, so you're going to have do the work. Are you also going to do something with divorced women?
Yes, so surprisingly, at first I didn't think that I was going to do anything centered around divorce, but I've had a lot of women and some men, which I love because I love both perspectives. I
Hmm.
think sometimes in conversations we could be lopsided and only see things from a woman's perspective, but I love to hear from my men, my brothers in the area of divorce. So I am going to do some group sessions that will be centered around divorce, and they will be in the spring as well.
That is good. Y'all, Stephanie is a licensed certified life coach. So she went to school, she got some schooling for it, and all of that good stuff. Where can people find you, Stephanie? And I'm going to put it in the chat.
Okay, you guys can follow me on Instagram, because that's mainly where I normally am.
Hmm.
You can follow me on Instagram. I believe my handle is it Stephanie R Pinkney on there?
Chat, let me look right quick. I don't think so.
Come on, it might be changed. But yeah, you guys can follow me on Instagram. I'm doing better about posting because for a long time I
Yeah,
did
it
not.
is Stephanie R. Pinkney.
Um, I didn't post that much for a while. I took a huge, huge break from social media just through my divorce, and I just needed a break. But I'm coming back. I'm starting to get back active on my social media accounts. So you guys can definitely follow me on IG. I would love to hear from you guys. Anyone that is interested in any of the sessions and stuff that I have coming up, please DM me. Let me know so that way I can add you to my mailing list, my email list, so that when my classes start to go active, you'll definitely be the first to get the information about our sessions coming up in the spring.
Listen, Stephanie, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule because you are busy to come and spend an hour with us. I put your information in the chat. Look
Okay.
look at the chat to make sure that that's accurate, and it should be
Yep,
at
that's it.
Stephanie R. Pinkney, and
Uh-huh.
then y'all DM her if you want any coaching sessions. Lastly, what is your Cash App?
Uh,
Uh-oh, stumped you with that one. While I'm
mhm.
doing that, you all, thank you so much. I did fix the Zelle if you so desire. You know, it's not mandated here, but if you would like to give to this to this mic that's gonna be working soon. I just gotta get the cord. If you would like to do that, please Zelle me at I am Courtney Phillips TV at gmail.com or chime at $Courtney Phillips 46 if you so desire to do that. What's your Cash App, Stephanie?
It is $ Stephanie Pink. So make sure you spell my name correctly. StephaniePink. And you should see my picture uh, in that chat. But yes, come on, we need to raise funds for the mic fund.
Stephanie, as always, it has been such a pleasure having you on. You will be back because I want to talk about our next time that we chat. I want to talk about weight loss.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a good
Because
topic.
after divorce, then we shedding the weight, right? We're doing
Yes.
all these things, and you look amazing. And so we'll talk about your weight loss journey when I have you back on next.
Okay.
Next week, y'all, I haven't gotten the final green light, but I'm hoping so. I think next week is going to be good. I'm going to try to do it on a Friday since Valentine's Day is on a Saturday. I'm sorry, I'm doing housekeeping. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm gonna let you down now. Thank you again. Yes, y'all. So Valentine's Day coming up, so I'm probably not going to do a show on Saturday. I mean, because all y'all gonna be out. Y'all got Valentine's, don't it? So I'm not gonna do that. Or I may, who knows? But the main show, let me say this. I'm hoping, I haven't gotten the final go ahead yet, but I'm hoping that I have two special guests on with me for the next one, and that's gonna be a special one since we're entering the Valentine's Day holidays. So thank you all again for tuning in. If you want to if you want to get in touch with me, rather, it's I am Courtney Phillips at I am Courtney Phillips TV, excuse me, at Gmail. If you want to holler at me, you can follow me on social media at I am Courtney Phillips. Let's see what else. And then, of course, my giving information is scrolling down there on the bottom of the screen. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for being engaging. Thank y'all so much for being so gracious to my guest. She will be back on because we're going to talk about the weight loss thing. Phenomenal testimony there and all of that good stuff. Look, who is it? Ain't nobody got a man no more but Londa. Right. You don't know Jacqueline may got a man. Shoot, who else? Sabrina may have one. You don't know. Erica got one. She's married. Erica's married. But yeah, y'all. So that's it. That's all. I ain't got no more. Tune in next week. Thank you all so much again for being such a tremendous blessing to me. I love y'all. I got one for 21 years. Come on now. Come on, 21 years. Nicole, yep, Nicole is married. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Y'all share the show. I'm trying to get on the algorithm. I'm at 100 and something subbies. I need some more. I'm ready to monetize and I have to get to a 500, I think, to hit the first stage of monetization. So if you all could help me out with that, I would greatly appreciate it. Tomorrow night, let me look, this the what you call it? When we used to watch cable and you have to scroll the TV guide, that's it, TV guide. This is your TV guide for this weekend. So tomorrow we have Sean Talks. So I'm going to be on that panel. And of course, I'm going to simulcast that. And that's going to be at 7, correct me if I'm wrong, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 o'clock Central. I'm not trying to figure out Pacific, okay? And then, because I have to do that Monday through Friday. Then after Sean Talks, we have the debut of Joshua Smith. So he's going to go live tomorrow evening at, I think it's 9. Jesse, you can correct me if I'm wrong there. I think it's 9 Eastern. No, I think it's 9 Central. Y'all go follow him, go subscribe to his channel and turn the notifications on so that you can get that information. And then lastly, on Monday, we are going to have Millennial Mondays with Jesse online. So we're going to be on his panel doing that as well. So that's your what is Josh's channel name? It's J Eleazar. Can someone put it in the chat? It's J Eleazar, something like, I believe that's it. It's J Eleazar. Let's say the Midnight Hour child. I don't know. So, so Jesse's live is we do Millennial Mondays. I think that is 8 o'clock Central. Or is it, I think it's 8 Eastern. Put it in the chat because I just forgot just that quick. Here it is. It is J Eleazar. I want to make sure you spelled it right. I don't have my glasses on. So yeah, so go follow him. That's gonna be good with okay, don't get me the line. I was about to say the name of the show, but something with the mind. Okay, I forgot. Dang, I'm gonna miss the fun. It's our time to host the Super Bowl party. Oh, Super Bowl! It's Super Bowl tomorrow. Y'all, is the Super Bowl tomorrow? Okay, Jesse's show is 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. Thank you, Jesse. Is the Super Bowl tomorrow? Cool. I always miss you, Jesse, but I plan to be on. Y'all turn the notifications on. I just thought I wasn't gonna watch it. I mean, the St. James show. You can do both. You can do the Super Bowl on the TV, and then you can do the lives, the different YouTube lives on your phone. Ain't nobody watching that, right? Yes, the Super Bowl is tomorrow. My God, I didn't even think, child. I love football. Let's be clear, but I'm so disengaged with it. But I got back in it because I love it. I'm familiar. I like to go to the games and all that good stuff like that. But since my team is not playing, but I know what you were saying, Nicole. Derek is going out. I'm not interested this year. Okay, so you're gonna be in. Okay, so there's one watcher. Tell him, listen, let's see. The Lions not in it. So I knew you ain't talking about the Detroit Lions. I don't know why I was thinking about Tennessee. I was about to be like, man, Tennessee ain't did nothing in so long. Okay, the Detroit Lions. And do and multitask all the time. Okay. Do it. So we still on for tomorrow, and who's gonna be there, whosoever will, let them come. So again, you can watch on the TV, have that going on, and then have us on the thing. And while they taking a break, you can watch us and comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff to all of us. Okay. So until next time, y'all, it's at the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank you so much. I love each and every one of you. Have a great evening. Take care.